Time now for World Press. Time to look at the big headlines this morning across the world. Trix, good morning.
Good morning,
What do we
Ben.
have this morning?
So starting off today with African news.
ICC.
Yeah, the
Right.
ICC has said, particularly Fatou Bensouda, the prosecutor, has said that they're not letting up their pursuit of justice in Burundi, despite the fact that they have started the process of leaving the ICC. So the rules are that it will take a year to get out of the ICC. It's a year-long process. So if you start today, exactly next year, same day, you'll be out of the ICC.
So this notification by these countries happened in October and November.
Yes.
So it will take up until November, October 2017.
For Burundi, October 2017. For South Africa, November 2017. So meanwhile, Fatou Bensouda has said this is not going to faze them. They're going to go ahead and keep up with the investigations of the atrocities they claim happened in Burundi that were against human rights. So that's going to be a bit of a headache for that government and President Pierre Nkurunziza.
Personally, it must be tough for Bensouda because Gambia is where she comes from and they want to exit the ICC.
Yeah, and the reasons were that the West is focusing only on Africa and not actually dealing with atrocities across the other countries that are actually signatory to the Rome Statute. So
which
that's
is a fact.
which is actually a fact. Most of the prosecutions have happened in this continent, and rather than other continents. Not to say that there's nothing bad happening across the world. Then there's another story from Tunisia. No U.S. base in Tunisia, but drone flying over Libya border. This is according to SEBC. So they're just taking a look at the kind of military operations that are happening there, and the U.S. interventions, or not really interventions, but their workings and conflict areas. We know that in places like Syria, the U.S. has actually been aiding in tactical intelligence and, Air Force reinforcements, but not on the ground. So. Yeah, just taking a deeper look into what's happening in North Africa, rather. Let's take a look at the next paper, which is The Guardian, and it is focusing on the autumn statement. Let's take a look at the headline. This is the House of Commons. So Britain will blow 59 billion hole in the public finances, admits Hammond. So this has to do, Hammond is the head of the
implementing the Brexit.
Exactly. So while a lot of the campaigners were promising that a Brexit would save Britain a lot of money, turns out that it's actually going to cost them quite a pretty penny to get out of the European bloc. But after that, maybe they can have some kind of benefit of being on their own. But as of now, there's still a lot of money that's going to be blown, like this article says, on the process of leaving. So it's not as easy as it may have seemed. So this is the autumn statement, the financial statement from the head of the Exchequer, who is Philip Hammond. So there's more on politicians who don't have a clue, views on the autumn statement. Just taking a look at how much politicians in Britain have a clue about what is happening in terms of the economy of Britain and what needs to be spent where. And there is Schiaparelli. The spacecraft has smashed into Mars at 335 meters per hour after getting at altitude wrong. So the missions in Mars are there's a lot of push for the missions of Mars. Probably there's a lot of hope for life on that planet, but of course they got it wrong on this particular mission.
This is also the story of Jo Cox.
Jo Cox, the MP, exactly. Yeah, the MP who actually lost her life thanks to this radical human being.
This is happening just a few days before Brexit.
Exactly, yeah. So he was a far-right terrorist who was jailed for life for the murder of that MP, but of course the UK lost a really, like the descriptions you've had about Jo Cox, she was a really good member of that, or the British Parliament.
That she was a parent to young kids also.
Yes, exactly. So really, really horrible for that family, but at least some justice has been enacted. Then we're having France pushing for sanctions.
Al Jazeera?
Yes, this is Al Jazeera. France is pushing for sanctions against the Assad government. So we know that France is not happy with what's happening because they feel that protecting civilians should be a priority for any government, but it seemingly Syria is only eager to deal with ISIS in Aleppo rather than without focusing on the kind of the people who are actually being caught in the crossfire. There's a story embedded here that focuses on the death of children and the grieving parents. It is a messy situation, and they feel that Western diplomats actually feel that the fact that Donald Trump is seemingly cozying up to Russia, it might embolden Assad in his activities in Aleppo and just make the situation more just worse than it is at the time. Then there's Arab-Kurd tensions are simmering in the shadow of the Mosul campaign. It's been ongoing. This is the second month now. They're trying to take Mosul out of the hands of ISIL. They're still fighting. It has, culminated in some tensions, but this is expected in any kind of conflict or war. Then there's Eritrean refugees in Israel sent to Uganda and Rwanda. So he's just exactly pointing to the fact that a lot of people, especially from the Horn of Africa, try to cross over into Europe, while there are actually some other countries in Africa that actually have safety. They might provide safe haven.
So why are they sent to Uganda and Rwanda?
Well, probably because of documentation issues, and you know that Europe is not really happy with the upsurge of migrants all across Africa, and Rwanda and Uganda are fairly, actually they're not fairly, but really safe havens for this on this continent. So this is the Washington Post focusing on Trump's latest cabinet level picks, diversity, his administration. So yesterday, actually, they were all focusing on the fact that he was being accused of not being diverse because so far all the people he had chosen were white males. So people were beginning to wonder, where is the diversity?
Picking two women into his administration, and women who have criticized him in the past.
Yes. So probably a good move on his administration part. The president-elect has turned away from intelligence briefers is another interesting story right there, probably focusing on the warnings he's been given against Russia and other countries that he promised he's going to be very friendly with. Then President-elect's business could influence profound debate on crony capitalism. So this has been a long-standing issue since he came into office. People are asking. He has business interests across the globe. The number of votes that she has ahead of Donald Trump. So
almost 2 million.
Exactly, there are too many, and they're saying she's just approaching a milestone in terms of record numbers of votes that a candidate who lost would actually have over the candidate who won. So just pointing to the intricacies of the electoral system of the United States. It's not as simple as you would assume it would be.
A lot of criticism on the electoral college
exactly.
system.
Because if she would have this number of votes over her opponent, it would be expected that she is actually the person.
Imagine if this was to happen in Kenya. You win by 2 million, but you lose actually.
It would not be taken easily. So that's the CNN paper for your website.
Thank you, Trix. Trix here with the latest across the world in newspapers and, of course, leading news websites. Now let's take a look at more news. African Parks has released a video and images of Prince Harry's 3-week stint in Malawi this summer, where he helped with a large-scale elephant